a meditation called Free to Be Kind. The child had just come in from a long day at school. She looked puzzled, and a light frown creased her forehead. She walked up to her grandmother, who had just put down her book, and built herself up to make a pronouncement. "I'm free, aren't I?" said the child as she nestled her head into the old lady's copious lap. "Well, I suppose that kind of depends." The wise face crumpled into a smile. "Depends on what?" said the girl, seeing that there might be some limits to this newfound excitement, and she couldn't imagine a freedom that would have limits. "Well," came the reply, "anybody who has any sense knows that the freedom that we have doesn't mean that we're able to just go off and do whatever we like. Can you imagine you going off and deliberately breaking your brother's favourite toy and then saying, 'Well, that's okay because I'm free and that means I can do whatever I want'? There are always consequences to freedom." The little girl's face puckered slightly. "I suppose so," she said, "but what's the point of freedom if you can't do what you want?" "The freedom that God presents to us is rather different," said the old lady, as she settled back in her chair, always a sign that words of wisdom were about to flow. "It's a freedom to become the kind of people we were always meant to be, free to be human beings at their best." "Well, what does that freedom look like?" asked the girl. "Goodness, if you ask me, it looks a lot like kindness and joy, love and gentleness, goodness and self-control." "Well, that's just boring stuff." "Now you shake that idea from your head right this minute," said the old woman. She wasn't angry. She just wanted to make sure that her point was being made clearly. There's nothing boring about kindness and goodness and love. Why, they're the toughest, most demanding things to be. They're really difficult. That's why so few people manage to do them well often enough. But when you can get them right with God's help, then why, there isn't anything better. That's the real secret to freedom. God gives us the freedom to be kind. And when you achieve that freedom, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. The little girl looked carefully at her grandmother's face and suddenly realized that a tear had trickled down her cheek. She looked again. There was a smile. It was deep truth that had been shared that afternoon, and the girl would remember this conversation for many days.